Welcome to the School of Hollywood. Hi, I'm Steve Owens, and I interview stars from Hollywood in movies, TV, and music. Each episode, we find out what it took to get our guests to the success they have today. Plus, in the School of Hollywood, you'll also get tips. Be sure to subscribe and tell your friends about the School of Hollywood. School is now in session.
Hi, I'm Niurka, and I'm super inspired to be here with Steve on the School of Hollywood.
And I am so glad to have you here today. You always brighten people's lives up. You come from an amazing background that you started out with Tony Robbins, and you've trained athletes, and you've trained writers, directors, producers, businessmen, car owners, you name it. You've been in the training business. And what have been some of the biggest success stories that you've had?
Oh my goodness, Steve. First off, I am so thrilled to be here with you because movies are one of the biggest and most powerful influences for people's lives. So I'm super excited to share the best of what I've invested a lifetime to discover with everyone who's present with us here right now. So for me, I'd say some of the biggest successes, the first thing that comes to mind is knowing the power that we have to transform our lives, knowing the power that we have to clarify our vision and literally make it happen, bring it out of this realm of ideas into reality. And for me, I wrote a book several years ago called Supreme Influence. And the book starts with this quest that I embarked on when I was 15 years old, except back then I called it running away from home. So I remember being so frustrated with my life, but I knew inside that I was destined for more than what was showing up. And I started focusing on my vision. I started focusing on the life I was committed to live and to create. And within a short period of time, I had like this major breakthrough. At 19 years old, I had the honor of going on the road with Tony Robbins. And I traveled with Tony for 5 years. I worked side by side with him, and I broke every record within that company to this day, which is pretty extraordinary because back then we didn't have social media and, we didn't have the technology that we have now. But that really laid the foundation and what became the beginning of my, not just my business, really my life's work. And then in the year 2000, I launched my company. And again, focusing my on my purpose to create results, I began creating success by empowering other people and companies and organizations to create record-breaking results and success. And, I could go and give you so many different examples. One of them was one of my very first clients was Fletcher Jones, which is, you mentioned automotive. That's just one of the many fields that I've worked in. But I came in and I put my heart and soul into this company. And within 7 months, they became the #1 Mercedes-Benz dealership in the world and the #2 dealer of all dealers in the entire United States, all makes and models. And it began with bringing everybody together with a shared vision. So one of the things I love about the work that you're doing with the School of Hollywood is you're really empowering, artists, you're really empowering actors to clarify what's the vision that you have and how do you make it happen. So I'm excited to give some tools, strategies, insights, techniques, stories to support everyone that's present in bringing that into manifestation.
Of course, every actor is going to be going to, wow, she made them #1 in the world. Can she make me #1 in the box office?
It starts with a belief, and it starts with a desire. It's like to have this real desire that this is something that's important to me. This is something that I want to bring into the world. And then why? Why is that important to you? Having a clear sense of purpose. And then from this clear sense of purpose, believing. You got to believe in yourself, because when you have that strong sense of belief and you transcend the doubt, you begin to take the consistent, focused actions that are essential. So yes, you can become that if you make a decision, if you believe, if you take the actions, if you show up, if you do not allow doubt or resistance or rejection to become more powerful than your determination. Okay.
One of the stopping blocks with a lot of actors and people from graphics to producing and directors is they hit a stumbling block.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to get out of that stumbling block. They want to complete the task, whether it be a dialect or getting through a script, or they've got writer's block. What advice do you have for them to help them get out of that state and start getting back in focus?
Realize that we all have blocks. Okay, everybody's going to have a block. I remember the first time I wrote a book, a writer before. I mean, I had written, but writing a book and bringing it to completion and publishing it with the biggest publisher in the world, Random House, which we did, it was a lot of transcending these blocks that you're talking about. First, realize that happens to all of us. It's not that it's happening to you, it's what you do about it. So one thing is shift your state. In that moment when you're in a block, you're in a state, and that state has certain qualities. Usually if somebody is stuck or blocked, they're focusing on what isn't working. They're believing that they're stuck or that there's a challenge. Their physiology is collapsing. They're saying things to themselves that don't serve them. They're asking themselves poor questions like, why am I blocked? Or why is this happening? So the first thing I would say to them is to shift your state. Okay. So how do you shift your state? Shift your state of mind, shift your state of being. One is literally stand up and shake it out. Move your body, because how you move your body influences how you feel. So if somebody's having writer's block, like you said, and they're sitting there and they're just in the funk, you want to move your body. Motion creates emotion. When I worked with Tony Robbins in my early 20s, he used to say that to me. So motion creates emotion. How you move influences how you feel. So the first thing I would say is stand up, literally shake your body out, and then ask a better question. Who do I know that can support me right now? What am I grateful for? What is something that I may not be seeing that by me seeing that would create a portal or an opening? So shift your body, ask a better question. When you do those two things, it begins to shift your focus. Shift your focus out of problem into possibility, out of stuckness into an expanded state of awareness. And that's another thing too, is literally rather than being in tunnel vision, somebody feels stuck. It's almost like they're in tunnel vision. Allow yourself to come into an expanded awareness, like your awareness comes into the periphery. One of the most powerful ways to do that is with your breath. Be aware of your breath. When someone is stuck or feeling stuck, it's like sometimes the breath is, like they're holding their breath. Pause, place your hand on your heart. You can put your other hand on your solar plexus and inhale a deep, rejuvenating breath. So shake your body out, ask a better question, inhale a deep, rejuvenating breath. And then from this space, get clear on what is most important. What's most important right now in this moment?
You do every year, actually a couple times a year, the Manifest Your Vision. And tell us about that, because you've got one coming up around the corner here. What actually is that workshop? And it's a 3-day kind of event, about an hour each day on that. What can people expect out of that?
Totally. Thank you for bringing that up, because this is so timely. We're here doing this, this podcast today because we have the Manifest Your Vision Challenge coming up. It's coming up March 9th through the 11th. And it's a 3-day challenge where I'm inviting and challenging everyone to show up, bring all of you, and play full out with me and our community for 3 days, where during those 3 days, you're going to be guided step by step to clarify what is your vision for your business? What is your vision for your acting career? What is your vision for your life? And how do you bring that vision and have it be crisp and clear, but not be too attached to it so it can be achieved? It can manifest in ways even greater than you can imagine. So I'm going to guide everyone who's present to become very clear with what this vision is and make sure that your vision is in alignment with your unique purpose, because you have a purpose that nobody on the planet has. And how do you truly recognize and embody that and then take action? Consistent, focused, purposeful action. And a lot of times I see people taking action, but they're not that clear on their vision. And if you're taking action because you want to go get a particular part or you want to be in a particular movie, it's like, okay, who are you? And what's most important to you in life? And then how do you come into that state of supreme clarity so that you can make it happen? So everyone present is going to be guided to become clearer. What are the areas of your life that are most important to you? Yes, we're talking about, your career here. Also, what is most important to you in your relationships, your health and vitality, your wealth, your financial success, your life's purpose, your contribution. Okay, your success in business. What is that? And then what is the ultimate result that you're committed to? Why is that important to you? And then how do you come into a place of alignment so that you naturally begin to attract the opportunities? You naturally begin to attract people and opportunities and experiences that are going to align with you to make it happen.
With a lot of the actors, they're hesitant on doing the social media, the influence role. What advice, because their agents and managers are all saying you need to do it, you need to do it. What advice can you give them to move forward in that direction and get over being afraid of posting things online?
What do you think it is? And then I got some powerful insights for you. What do you think it is that blocks them from really putting themselves out there?
Afraid to let people know who the real person is.
Okay. So the one thing I would say is if something is important to you, if something is truly important to you in your heart of hearts, within your soul, you owe it to yourself to bring all of you to the table. You owe it to yourself to bring all of you into this conversation. And oftentimes the things that you may think are what someone may judge you on is often that area where you've been judging yourself or doubting yourself. By you just owning it and stepping in and being able to speak authentically, this is going to create a space that's going to allow you to connect with people in a deeper way that you would never ever connect with them if you were just behind the scenes trying to be perfect and trying to have other people out there doing the work for you. So there's huge power. And I'll tell you what, agents and leaders want to work with people that are going to match their commitment. They're going to match their intensity. They're going to match their passion. So show up, put yourself out there. And I will share this with you also, is that I have found, and tell me if you agree with this, Steve, I found that as we get older, it gets even easier to put ourselves out there, right? Like we don't have the judgments that we had when we were like in our 20s, right? So what I'm here to share with you is that, as you get older, you're going to notice that those things that you were so judgmental on for yourself, they just dissolve in light of your own journey of evolution. So I'm here to share with you, love yourself through it. All the challenges that you think you have and the judgments you have on yourself, other people are having on themselves. It's totally refreshing for you to show up and be real and be authentic. And people often will love you in the places and that have been your greatest challenge. And the ones that don't, that's okay. You're not here to win every single person's approval. Okay. Often when you just allow yourself to be seen, this is what's going to create the space for you to begin to attract opportunities.
When an actor walks into a room of producers and casting directors and they don't know any of them, what advice could you give them to build up their confidence? And as they walk in there, and they're shaking and knowing that there's possibility of $50,000 on that particular job.
That's such a great question. The first thing is create success in advance in consciousness before you ever even enter that room. Okay. Like go through a mental rehearsal where before you even walk in the room, like sit down in your own space and close your eyes, inhale a deep breath, elongate your spine, open up your heart, and allow yourself to go through a visualization exercise. See yourself in consciousness in this visualization, walking in, standing up straight, big smile on your face, your shoulders are back, and you're just naturally in the flow, connecting with people. And as you're visioning this in your mind, allow this vision to become big and bright and crisp and clear, and like step into it as if it was literally happening right now. And go through this mental rehearsal because it's going to begin to prepare your consciousness to walk in. So create the success in advance before you arrive. And then when you walk in, literally say to yourself, what is your intention? So let's say your intention, yes, is to get the part. That's one intention. Your intention can also be to connect with these people in a way where they recognize that there's something unique and special about you. To be lighthearted and yet focused simultaneously at the same time. So again, see yourself having success in advance. I remember the first time, it's not in the acting field, but I remember the first time I signed my very first client when I started my company, and it was in the year 2000. And I started the company and I signed my very first client within 4 days of starting the company. I didn't have business cards. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a strategy, but I also knew how to transcend doubt and limiting beliefs. And what happened was before I walked in, I had already closed the deal in my mind. And I wasn't attached. I was like, you know what? If I walk in and it doesn't happen here, the next one's going to happen. I am going to create success. So trust and know that as you continue to show up, there's going to be some gigs that you don't get, and that's okay. Keep showing up. Okay, keep showing up. That's the difference that makes a difference. A lot of times people think, oh my gosh, I've tried all these things. Well, you know, maybe you showed up once and it didn't work. Maybe you showed up another time, it didn't work. How many times have some of the most brilliant actors on the planet showed up and gotten rejected, but they didn't take that as the end all be all. They didn't allow that to collapse their devotion, their desire, their commitment. So rehearse it in advance and show up and put your best into it. Put your heart and soul into it. Put your passion into it, and relax into it too, as you're putting your passion into it. It's like, how do you do that? Breath. Oh my gosh, breath is so important. You know,
and you also have a monthly program too, Manifestors Alliance.
Totally.
And you actually had one today, and you're talking about a special guest that's coming up that he's able to influence just about anybody and get things done, from getting the Super Bowl tickets to you name it. This could be something that's also great to have people join in, and it's a monthly thing that you do. I'll let you spill on it instead of me.
You know, one of the things that's so important is, first of all, I have so much respect for every single person who's listening right now, because you're putting yourself out there and you're committed to be on the world stage. So one of the most important things when you're committed to play a big game, it's important for you to have coaches. It's important for you to have someone who is your confidant, who is your go-to person, who's going to support you in those times where you're down and out, and who's going to lift you up, you know, and be devoted and committed to you rising to the heights that you're destined for. So these two events that we have coming up are a way that you can plug in and have that coaching, have that support, have that community that's going to be present with you. So the first one that we talked about a moment ago is that Manifest Your Vision. And I'll just drop in the website because it's free. It's a free event. It's my gift to you. It's coming up. You want to show up and play full out. That one is at Niurka Inc., NIURKAINC.com. And actually, when you go to the website, you'll see it right there on the homepage. You could click on it. You could go to niurkainc.com/manifest, takes you directly to the page where you could claim your free seat. Okay. And that's where I'm going to give you the best of everything I've got for you to clarify and manifest your vision. Now, in addition to that, what you're talking about, Stephen, it brings me a lot of joy to see you in these sessions, okay? Because you show up consistently, and that's one of the things. It's not what we do once in a while. It's what we do consistently that is the difference that makes the biggest difference. This is a community of people that come together that are committed to live with purpose. They're committed to live with power. They're committed to live with a sense of poise based on their unique expression. And what we do is we get together once a week, every week, for an hour of power. And I mean, we have a new theme every single month. Like this month is all about the art and science of influence. And as an actor, that's one of the things is you got to influence, okay? And one is not only influencing when you go on an audition, it's also influencing yourself. You got to influence yourself to be on your A game. You got to influence yourself to not allow doubt to take over, or not allow rejection to, you know, cause you to shrink. Instead, you got to transcend that and cause you to rise. That's self-influence. And then secondly is, how do you not only communicate in a way that influences others and inspires them to want to choose you? Okay, they're like, oh my gosh, I got to choose them. Is who are you being? See, the most powerful actors, when you really think about it, is they are people of influence. They show up, and when they speak, they are the influencing factor. So how do you not only learn influencing skills, but the most important thing, and that's our topic this month, and every month there's a different topic, is how do you become a person of influence? Okay. So one of the things that we're doing right now, in addition to that, and I want to make sure, because there's so much value that we have, is we're giving everyone one free month VIP, where you could literally, you know, and I'll make sure to get you the link so you could drop it into this page.
Yeah.
They could come in and they could get one free month. You got to put all your credit card in and stuff, but you won't be charged. You just come in and you experience a month of this membership, so you could feel from within, hey, what is the power of this? Because at the end of the month, what we find is that people want to continue, because they go, this is making a significant difference in my life. And it's like plugging in. You know, there's certain practices that are imperative. And I love that word imperative. When we look at the root of the word imperative, it means to set an order. You want to set your life in order with purpose, with vision, with power, with the ability to create results, the ability to create big, make big things happen. And one of the ways to do that is, what are you plugged into? You know, like we all got to plug into a health practice. Yes. You got to eat healthy and you got to work out. You know, you got to do that. Well, you got to plug into a certain spiritual practice. I'm not talking about a religious practice. I'm talking about something that aligns you, you know, with your greatness, with the highest expression of who you are and who you're destined to become. I call that a spiritual practice. You want to align with business practices that create success. Okay. You want to align with, you know, have certain practices even that you bring into your relationship. So you have that sense of connection and love and fulfillment. Well, this is a community where you can plug into that's going to give you resources, support, wisdom, techniques, strategies, encouragement, inspiration. This is a place where you could come and bring all of you. Okay. All of you is received. You can not only bring your light, bring your darkness too. Like bring all that stuff that you've been wanting to hide in the closet that you don't want anybody to see. Bring that to the table, because all of you is received. All of you. Your light is received. Your shadow is received. All of you is welcome and seen. And when you can bring all of you to a conversation, I mean, really, you know, think about the most extraordinary actors that are on the frontier of the world stage. It's like we've seen the full spectrum of who they are. So you're invited, everybody, to bring the full spectrum of who you are to our challenge, to our membership, and allow yourself to be supported.
Fantastic. Where can people find you on social media?
Oh my goodness. Come follow me. Let's have in the conversation. Join the party. So on Instagram and on Facebook, I am at Niurka Inc. So that's at NIURKAINC. Okay, Niurka Inc. And I'm super active in there also. So I'm posting on there and my team's in there also, but I'm personally responding to comments, responding. So connect with me. I'm inviting you to connect with me and allow me to serve you. Allow me to truly give to you the best of what I have been curating for decades here. And I would be honored.
Fantastic. I'm glad that you were able to join us today on the School of Hollywood, and look forward to the upcoming workshops.
I can't wait. Steve, thank you so much for bringing your heart, your soul, your passion, your devotion, your commitment into supporting and empowering actors. I'm such an advocate of this field, this profession, because when you really think about who makes the biggest influences in people's lives, it's that big screen. So I'm here to give the best of everything to your community, and I will see you at the Manifest Your Vision Challenge. Make sure to go there and sign up right now because it's free. Niurka Inc., NIURKAINC.com/manifest, and you get that free ticket and show up for all 3 days, and then come visit me on social media. Thank you, my friend. I'm honored to be with you.
Thank you for listening to the School of Hollywood. If you enjoyed the podcast, please tell other actors and musicians. And if you really like the podcast, do us a big favor. Put a little mention on your social media.